Okay, so this is the start of a new little series I'm going to be trying out. It's going to be unscripted. It's going to be me just talking about stuff. You know, each episode will have a topic. Maybe I'll be talking about this. Maybe I'll be talking about that, blah, blah, blah. You know, I've had a few ideas running around in my head about what to talk about for my first episode, but today that Nintendo Direct happened. So I guess I could talk about that. People like Nintendo Directs. I like Nintendo Directs. Maybe you'll like to hear me talk about Nintendo Directs. As for background footage, not entirely sure. I think for the most part, I'll just do some gameplay in the background. I don't want this to be too highly edited because it'll, take away time from my main videos, but we'll just make it as this will be a chill thing. Not a lot of hyper editing, maybe some edits to, emphasize a point, show something on screen that I'm talking about. But, maybe it'll just be gameplay for a lot of the time of just some random game I'm playing. Maybe a game I'm playing for a future video. I don't know. Who can say? Maybe not. Okay, so let's just get into this. So, Fire Emblem Engage is the first game of the Direct today. I'm not a huge Fire Emblem fan. I played Three Houses, and I liked Three Houses. It was fun. I'm not a huge fan of tactics games. That's about all I can say there. I'm not a huge fan of tactics games. Disgaea is another one I've played, Disgaea 5. I played some amount of that on my PS4. No, I beat it. I beat the story mode. But, of course, Disgaea is a series known for post-game stuff and post-game grinding, but I didn't get into that. I think I liked that game in spite of the, tactics stuff. I don't know what it is about tactics specifically, where you're, arranging people on a grid to attack people in a certain way. I don't know what it is about that stuff, but I just never really liked it. I liked Three Houses, though. I think that's another thing I liked in spite of the gameplay. I really liked the characters. The houses kind of talking with each other and, just all the chemistry with the characters. It felt good. It felt comfy. Hanging around the monastery or Garreg Mach, I think it was called. Yeah. I liked that. I'm not too interested in playing this. Fire Emblem Engage. The next mainline game. I don't know. I don't know what got me to play Three Houses in the first place, but I'm just not too interested in Engage. The title kind of sucks. I wrote down some points for each game I thought I would want to talk about, so I'll go through those every now and then. Title kind of sucks. Engage. Maybe that'll make some more context in the story, but that just feels kind of weird. Summoning old characters? That was really weird. If you saw the trailer, you'll notice Marth was in there. He's the only character I think I recognize. Sigurd, I think, was another. He might be. I'm pretty sure he's a character. A pre-existing Fire Emblem character. I don't know what that feels weird. That feels like spin-off territory where you're oh, fight alongside Marth. For a second, I think the first thing they showed was Marth. Or one of the first things, and I thought it was a sequel to Tokyo Mirage Session. That's a hard game to say. Tokyo Mirage TMS, the Shin Megami Tensei spin-off or crossover with Fire Emblem. I thought it was part of that. Because I was why would they bring Marth back for a mainline game? It feels it reminds me of Fire Emblem Warriors and, the Zelda Warriors game. I don't know. We'll see how that plays out in the story. Feels a little fan servicey, but we'll see. Maybe I'll play it, maybe I won't. My last point I wrote down is the main guy's hair. It's really stupid. Looks ugly. That's about all I have to say. I'm not going to talk about every game. I just wrote down games I'm interested in, which for this Direct is a lot, so talk about a lot of games. Next thing on my list is the SpongeBob platformer, 3D platformer. I don't remember what it was called. Cosmic something, maybe? I think that looked really cool. I didn't play the, Battle for Bikini Bottom remake. I didn't play that. I didn't play Battle for Bikini Bottom when I was a kid. I played Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. That was a SpongeBob game I played. I liked it well enough. I think Battle for Bikini Bottom is generally more well regarded. I like where they're going with this. I like that the remake was kind of a stepping stone for that development team to just make a brand new game. I like when stuff like that happens. I feel like it's happened before, where like a remake comes out and then like a sequel is made. Can't think of anything else. I think it's happened before. That looks cool. I'm excited for that. I don't know if I'll play it day one, but maybe I'll play it if it goes on sale. Deep sale. Fist of the North Star. This was a weird one. I haven't seen this show. I have a friend that kind of talks about it. He's a fan of it. And I saw Kenshiro walk on screen. I was like, oh, this is the game from the Yakuza devs, where they made like a Fist of the North Star Yakuza-like. It's like, oh, it's cool that that's coming to Switch. But then it's Fist of the North Star Boxing? That was weird. What's that boxing game on Switch? 1-2 Boxing? It looked like a reskin of that. I just don't know what to say about that. That's weird. Fist of the North Star, I have some I'm mildly interested in it. I thought about reading it sometime or watching the show. But yeah, Fist of the North Star boxing game. How about that? Fitness of the North Star? Okay, I'll move on. Tunic. Tunic is already out. Looks really cool. There's a dog bark. I don't know if you guys can hear that. If you can, I'm sorry. Alright, it stopped. Tunic I've kind of wanted to play. It's kind of expensive. I think is it like $40? Maybe 30? Maybe I'm exaggerating. It seems cool. I like games with secrets. I've heard the secrets in that game are kind of like obscure, where it's like walk along every wall. Kind of like Doom. I think I talked about that on my video on walkthroughs, where some of the secrets in Doom are like really hard to notice unless you're going against every wall spamming the use button. I saw someone describe the secrets in Tunic as kind of like that. I kind of don't like those types of secrets, but maybe I'll check it out someday. Looks cool. Front Mission remakes. Don't have too big of a excitement factor for that. Looks cool. Heard they were good, some more tactical games. Mechs. I think I have a song from one of those in my video game soundtrack playlist. Like just one song. I think I like it. I can't remember what it's called. But it looks cool. They're remaking 3, they announced. They're remaking the first 3 Front Missions. That's really cool. A remake of Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life. Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life. That hit me like a truck, man. That was... I feel like everyone, if they've played Harvest Moon, they had that one they played when they were a kid. Some people, it was Harvest Moon 64. Some people, it was, some other one. I can't remember any other ones. But, for those not in the know, the Story of Seasons, brand, what's the word I'm looking for? Series, Story of Seasons, was it's the original developers of Harvest Moon. I'm pretty sure that's the case. I might be mixing something up, but yeah, I think there was some weird trademark dispute where they lost the name, but the developers still exist. So any game that's Story of Seasons is technically made by the people that did Harvest Moon. So you can kind of just see it as Harvest Moon. And yeah, it's a remake of Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life. That's a game I played as a kid. That was my Harvest Moon. And I was watching the trailer, I was like, wow, this is... hit me with a wave of nostalgia, seeing the starting house and that area where you'd farm and there's a barn and all that. That was great to see. Characters, the people you can marry. I showed off one of those. That was nostalgic. Oh man. I'll check that out. I'll definitely check that out. Oh man, that was something about that trailer. The frame rate in the first shot was rough. That's something. Ooh, that's something a problem. The Switch has a problem with frame rate, and ooh, you know, I wrote down a note later. I'll talk about that for another game. Next game is Octopath Traveler 2. I kind of, how do I say this? I like the look of the HD 2D games. You know, I think I'll be putting, don't hold me to this, maybe I'll cut this out, but I'll try to show like the footage of the game, like the trailer from the Direct when I'm talking about it here. So maybe we'll be seeing this right now. I like the look of the HD 2D games, but I don't think I've played one. Like, what is there? Octopath Traveler, Project Triangle Strategy, Live Alive, I forget how they say it, Live Alive, I think that's it. And then they have Dragon Quest 3, I know that's in the works, and they have another one. It's not a Final Fantasy game, I don't think. I think people are wishing there would be like Final Fantasy 6 in an HD 2D game, but I don't think that's... Anyway, there's a few HD 2D games. I haven't played any of them yet, but they look really cool. You know, I talked about how I'm not a fan of tactics earlier, so Triangle Strategy isn't really up my alley. But Octopath Traveler, you know, that's just a traditional turn-based RPG. It looks cool, and I heard Octopath Traveler 1 had some like problems with the story, like interconnecting. If you don't know, Octopath Traveler, it's, you know, Octo 8. There's 8 characters, 8 paths. That's pretty cool. 8 paths that, like 8 characters, and their stories will eventually intersect. And people weren't happy with how those stories intersected in the original, well, the first game. And I'm recording this a couple hours after the Direct, and I've seen some like news that seems to indicate they're taking that criticism to heart, and they're trying to make them intersect better for this game, so that's cool. Is there anything else to say about Octopath? No, not really. It looks cool. Fae Farm. This is a farm simulation game. Looks cool. You know, I like life simulation games, and this one, you're, you know, growing crops and all that, fighting monsters. That's cool. Theater Rhythm Final Fantasy. This is a game I kind of played on 3DS. I downloaded it, and then I played maybe like 2 songs. It's like a rhythm game, but with Final Fantasy songs. I like rhythm games. I like Final Fantasy. I'm not a huge person to pay attention to like OSTs in games. The only time I'll notice is if it like really catches me, or if it's like a really long game and I hear the songs over and over, like Final Fantasy VII. There's a lot of songs in that I like, because, you know, there's only so many songs. That's a long game, and it's cool that, you know, it's cool that there's a rhythm game series. I know Theater Rhythm isn't specifically Final Fantasy, but it reminds me of like Guitar Hero Metallica. I think there's other theater rhythms that are like for other games. I can't think of any. Is there a Dragon Quest? No, I don't know. But I like that there's just a Final Fantasy one. And in this, there's 385 songs. That is crazy. 385 songs. I could play that forever. I'll definitely look into that. It comes out next year, I think. I was hoping that'd be a Shadow Drop today, but next year. Some DLC songs. 90 DLC songs from like Nier, Octopath Traveler, Live Alive. You know, that's cool. More songs from Square Enix properties. I dig it. Mario Rabbids sequel. It's coming up oddly a lot, but not a huge fan of tactics games. You know, it kind of takes inspiration from XCOM. I feel like, does it? I don't remember if they specifically stated their Ubisoft is taking inspiration from XCOM. But XCOM is cool. I think I played a little bit of it. I played a little bit of the Mario & Rabbids sequel too, or the first game. What did I think about it? I enjoyed what little time I played. It's just those games kind of hard for me to stick with in the long term. Like, I'll enjoy a battle or two, but once it comes to, like getting dozens of battles in, I kind of lose interest. It seems like this one does some cool stuff. There's like exploration in the world. I'm thinking back, there wasn't a huge... granted, I only played maybe 5 hours or so of the first game, but I didn't feel like there was a lot of like stuff to do in the main world, like outside of battles. I think it was just like railroading you through from battle arena to battle arena. And it's cool that this is seeming to embrace like an open world type thing. Maybe not completely open world, but like open arena. There's like stuff to find, secrets to get. They kind of talked about that. They didn't mention this in the Direct, but during Ubisoft's showcase, like a week ago, or maybe it was earlier this week, I don't know. But they announced Rayman DLC for this game. Oof. I gotta take a break, hold on. Alright, sorry, I'm not used to talking this long about like edits and stuff, so. Anyway, Rayman DLC. I like Rayman. I don't know what it is about Rayman. I haven't played... The only one Rayman game I've played through to completion was Rayman Legends. That's the only game I played to completion. I played a little bit of Rayman 3 when I was a kid. I guess I played more of Rayman Arena, which is like a racing spin-off, but I like Rayman, and it feels weird that Ubisoft has just kind of shoved him to the side. And I mean, I guess it's cool he's getting DLC, but I want more out of Rayman. I want another platformer. Rayman Legends is one of the best platformers, like, ever. And Rayman deserves better. Come on, guys. Ubisoft, I know you're listening. I know you're... Listen. Make another Rayman game. Okay? Alright. Okay. Rune Factory 3. I played a little bit of Rune Factory 4. I guess I played more than a little bit. Maybe a couple dozen hours of Rune Factory 4 on the Switch. 3 and 4, I'm pretty sure they were originally 3DS games. Maybe 3 is like an original DS game. I don't know. They might have both been 3DS games. It's interesting that Rune Factory 3 is coming to Switch. I don't know how well regarded 3 is compared to 4. I know the 5 hasn't held up so well, people aren't so happy with it. I think I might have seen some people say 3 is better than 4. Don't hold me to that. It's cool that's coming though. I'm all for porting all the games of a series. They announced the new Rune Factory series is in development. I don't know what that means. They didn't say like new game coming, they said like new series. That's weird. Nintendo 64 Online. I don't care about Nintendo 64 games. I think they have not aged well, and I don't have any personal connection to any of them, so I genuinely don't care about this stuff, but... they announced Mario Party games, 3 of them, the 2 Pokemon Stadium games. That's really cool. That's all. What else was there? 1080 Snowboarding, Pilot Wings 64. It's cool that they're bringing more of those. I like that they have all 3 Mario Party games and the both Pokemon Stadium games. Those are really cool, especially with online. But then they showed off like the timeline, and it was like they have 3 games for this year and then 4 games for next year. That was bizarre. Like, I still don't understand the release schedule with these emulation games. Like, why are they so slow with Super Nintendo Online, NES Online, Nintendo 64 Online? What's their... Like, is there more work that has to go into it than people know? I guess they have to make online services, but it's not like they're making lobbies or stuff. It's just like peer-to-peer local multiplayer. I don't know why they're so slow with those. There has to be a reason. There's no way they're just lazy. Who can say? Maybe they are lazy. GoldenEye. Wow, that was an announcement. I thought it was the Metroid Prime trilogy at first. I don't know why. The music kind of sounded like it. I think there was I saw someone point this out on Twitter. There was I don't even think I consciously noticed it, but there was a Metroid icon at the top left of like the Nintendo Switch profile icon. Like when you play a Nintendo Switch Online, Nintendo 64 game, or any of those, it has like the little player icon. It was that. For some reason that triggered my mind to think it was a Metroid Prime trilogy. How foolish I was. But GoldenEye's great. You know, I like the business deals that come through in like Banjo-Kazooie and Smash. It's like it's cool that these businesses are working together to make something cool. You know, it's easy to look at something like this. It's like, oh, it's just a business deal where both parties profit, and you know, it's in their best interests to do that. But it's in our best interest too. It's cool that GoldenEye's coming to N64 Online. And it's coming to Game Pass as well on Xbox. Free for Rare Replay owners. That's really cool. Be even cooler if Rare Replay was on PC, but beggars can't be choosers. Various Day Life. Various Day Life. This seems like my kind of game. You know, it's another life simulation game. It was kind of like vague on what you actually do. They were like, do menial tasks to level up. Drops today? I'll have to check that out. I forgot about that. Yeah, that drops today. I'll have to look into that. I talked about it in my Daggerfall video, but I really like games where you can settle down and, you know, just do mundane things. Bethesda games are great for that, and you know, it seems like this will maybe scratch that same itch of just like going fishing or crafting stuff and selling it. You know, trailer was vague. I'll have to look at the store page and see what that's like. Factorio. That was surprising. Did not expect to see Factorio in a Nintendo Switch Direct. But really glad Switch players get to play that. You know, that's like people that play Factorio and people that play on the Switch aren't really like a demographics that merge in my mind, but of course there's Switch that has such a wide audience, so people are gonna eat that up. Glad that's coming. Great. I've heard about that for a long time. I think it's like some indie horror, maybe? I don't know if it's explicitly horror. Don't have much to say about that. Looks cool. A lot of stuff in this direct looks cool. You know, there's just stuff that looks cool. What else can I say? Mario Strikers. I don't play this, but I love that Pauline is becoming part of the Mario crew. Like, she's showing up in these party games. She was in the tennis one. Now she's coming to the soccer game. The football game. I don't know. I like Pauline. She's cute. What can I say? Atelier Ryza 3. I've heard about the series for a long time. Atelier? Am I saying that right? I think I am. I've known about it for a while. There's a lot of games in the series. And I'm pretty sure its main grab is like crafting. I think that's what it's about. It's like main mechanical hook, rather. I like that. I like crafting in games. That seems like something cool to check out. They showed off, what was it? They had some shots of roaming a 3D world. Ryza, I think the last name of the main girl is Ryza. Is that true? I don't know. She was riding a dolphin up a waterfall. Looked like some Breath of the Wild stuff. I don't know. That looks really cool. I don't know when that's coming out. I'll have to check out reviews on that when it does. Pikmin Bloom. Pikmin is weird. I'm surprised that they made a Pokemon Go type game for Pikmin. Is there really I guess that's just Miyamoto pushing for it, because I feel like there's not a big audience for Pikmin. Pokemon Go, that makes sense. You know, a lot of people like Pokemon. But I don't feel like Pikmin has that kind of pull. And you know, Pokemon Go, I think Pokemon Go was the outlier. I've seen so many games, like Niantic has made, there was a Harry Potter one that came out, and that really surprised me. I don't think that did so well. Or at least it didn't catch on like Pokemon Go did. And I think it just goes to show that people specifically cared about Pokemon Go, not the walking around and doing whatever. It was like, no, I want to go out and catch a Snorlax. I don't want to go out and spread flowers. I think that was what was in the trailer. I don't know. That's weird. Pikmin 4, it's cool they're working on it. Or I guess they've been working on it for a long time. Since the Wii U, maybe? They've been working on Pikmin 4? Pikmin 3 came out on the Wii U, and that was kind of weird. And then Pikmin 4 has been in development for a long time. Glad it finally has a release date. That's about all I can say. Yeah, glad for Pikmin fans. Harvestella. Another life simulation game. You know, oh my god, us life simulation fans are eating well. There was like 4 games about like just living your life in some game. I love that. I'll check them all out. Harvestella, I don't remember anything specific about it that made it look cool. Just saw some farming and I'm like, hell yeah. Let me till some farmland. Master Detective Archives Rain Code. It was made by the people that made Danganronpa. You can obviously tell by the art style. Kind of translates okay into 3D. Yeah, it looked alright. The resolution was low and the frame rate, oh my god. That is such a problem with Switch. They just need a more powerful Switch. You know, maybe some people can look past like a low resolution and low frame rate with like occasional drops, but I just cannot look past that. I cannot look past a bad frame rate and a bad resolution. Xenoblade has a problem with that. Like they showed off I didn't specifically talk about it in my notes, but they showed off some like Xenoblade DLC. And the frame rate looks awful in that. It's so pixely. It's like 720p, I think. Maybe it's not actually 720p, but you know, anything below 1080p feels rough, especially on a big 4K TV. Yeah, I don't know what it is about bad resolution, but it just triggers me. You know, TVs are getting so big. I don't know how big mine is specifically. 50-inch maybe? 4K TV. I don't know how far away I'm sitting from it, but you know, running a game at 720p, that's rough. Crash Team Racing was like, I'm pretty sure it was like 720p. And that's like on the border of unacceptable to me. Like that's a line in the sand I'll draw. You know, a game maybe will look cool, but if it looks, the Switch just needs better hardware. And I've been holding out for that Switch Pro. Hopefully they get on it sometime, because man, these games need it. Resident Evil games coming to the cloud. I guess that's a solution to the frame rate problem, but that just like shifts to another problem of internet problems. You know, the Switch is a wireless console. If you want Ethernet, you have to buy an adapter. I guess it's technically on the OLED model, but yeah, I haven't tried out any cloud games because I'm using Wi-Fi and I'm pretty far away from my router, so I don't think it would work that well. But even if I did have good internet, I have no desire to buy a game that I don't have like direct access to, that I can't play offline. That's a hard sell for me. But it's cool that there's the option. Resident Evil 8 wouldn't even come to the Switch otherwise. But now, you know, if someone's only console is the Switch, and they really want to play Resident Evil 8, then they can. So yeah. Crisis Core Remake. You know, if you've seen any of my videos, you know I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy VII. I liked Crisis Core, and I'm glad this is coming out. They gave it a date. I forget what the date was. I've already played Crisis Core, so you know I'm not like too hyped to get on this, but I'll definitely give it a look when it's out. Radiant Silvergun. Is this like a remaster of an older game? I can't remember if they said. I think it is. I think they said it was. Looks cool. If you can believe that. If you can believe me saying that. I like a good shoot 'em up. This looks really neat. Came out today, I think. Tales of Symphonia remaster. That's really good. You know, I haven't played that game. Heard great things about it. It's on Steam. I think there's some shenanigans about there was a PS3 version of that had extra content that the Steam version doesn't. I think that's true. If that is true, I hope the extra content's on the Switch version. Also hope it's coming to PC, you know, very much like to play that on PC. Romancing Saga Minstrel Song, I think that was the name of it. There's a remaster. Heard of Romancing Saga, haven't heard of that game specifically, but it looks cool. Okay, the direct was winding down at this point. Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe remaster of a Kirby Wii game. Never played it, but this looks good. You know, I'm kind of not a fan of Kirby games. They're just kind of boring. You know, the copy abilities are cool and all, but just moving around as Kirby never felt fun. But I'm glad this coming to Switch, I guess. They showed off a sub-game that looked a lot like Top Ride from Kirby Air Ride, and oh my god. Oh my god, I want a Kirby Air Ride remaster so much. Oh, that game is so good. I just want to play City Trial again. Oh my gosh, I want a Kirby Air Ride remaster so much. I'm not a huge fan of playing Kirby games, but Kirby Air Ride, that is... I would kill for a Kirby Air Ride remaster. Oh my god. Alright, last game. Breath of the Wild 2. Kind of a short trailer, you know, I thought we were going to see more, but there wasn't a whole lot to show off. Which is weird. What did they show off? They just showed Link walking around in some sky islands. Yeah, he was just walking around some islands, jumped off. Started dropping into the Fortnite island off the battle bus. Different environments, I wrote that down. That seemed kind of cool. I remember kind of being like, kind of getting bored of Hyrule in the first game. It was just like, oh, it's this green, lush area, and that's... I guess there were some, like, mountainous regions with snow and all that, but it looked a little more varied in the trailer here. No, I like that. The game's name is Tears of a Kingdom. Tears... Oh my god, I messed it up. Tears of the Kingdom. I think that's a great name. Like, I first heard Breath of the Wild, and I was like, that's a weird name for a game. Breath of the Wild. And now Tears of the Kingdom. Huh. Something to ruminate on, you know? T-O-T-K. B-O-T-W. T-O-T-K. Huh. Don't have much to say about that. It's just an interesting name. Yeah. Coming out in 2023. Mid-2023. That's cool. Looks cool. You know what? This Direct looked cool. A lot of games that looked cool. A lot of games that seemed cool. Can't wait to check them all out. I guess if I were to pick a standout from the Direct, I didn't really think about doing this, I just thought of this right now, so see if... Do I have any real standouts? Scrolling through my list here. Various Day Life, that kind of surprised me. We'll see if, I'll have to look at reviews for that, see if it's actually good, but tentatively excited for that. I guess there's not a whole lot I'm like super excited for. There's a lot of stuff that's like, yeah, that's neat. That's neat. You know, I'm glad Pikmin fans get confirmation of Pikmin 4. I guess I was most surprised during the Harvest Moon A Wonderful Life announcement. But, you know, that was a game I played as a kid. I don't think I'll actually play that too much. I guess Theater Rhythm Final Fantasy, you know, that's the thing I'm most excited. Of course, I'm excited to play Breath of the Wild 2, but Theater Rhythm, I don't know. I like a good rhythm game. So that's my pick of the show. Theatrhythm Final Fantasy. You know what? No, GoldenEye. I'm glad they got GoldenEye. Glad they worked out the business deal. Glad it's coming to Game Pass. Glad it's good for, or glad it's free for Rare Replay owners. That's great. GoldenEye's great. Didn't play it a lot. I don't think I've played it at all, actually. But you know, that's a game people have been talking about for a while. People have always been wanting to come back, and I'm glad it's coming back. Play some GoldenEye with your friends. Ain't that cool? Doesn't that look cool? Wasn't that direct cool? That was a really good direct. That was a good, like... Did Nintendo have an E3 direct? I can't remember. I don't think they did. This was a good E3 direct. A lot of stuff. You know what? Maybe this would have been more disappointing if this was an E3 direct. Because I'm looking at this, I'm like, there's not, like, Breath of the Wild 2 was kind of boring at the end. There wasn't any big, like, Nintendo announcements. So maybe that's their path forward, is just making these more understated directs. And when they don't have that, like, big push of, like, E3, oh, you gotta announce cool games. Maybe that's their path forward. I don't know. Alright, so that's this episode of... Does this have a series name? I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling about stuff. I'll have to think about it. So yeah, that's the next episode of... That's this episode of whatever this is called. If you have any suggestions for a topic for me to talk about next, leave a comment. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but just leave a comment for next episode. I already have a bunch of topics to talk about, so maybe I'll go through those. Anything else? If you have any suggestions for the format of this, let me know. I've been looking for something to just, you know, kind of just ramble and talk about stuff. I've kind of wanted to do a podcast for a while, but just doing like a weekly podcast about news and stuff, that seems kind of boring. Maybe I'll occasionally talk about news with this stuff, you know, like today. But, you know, sometimes maybe I'll talk about, you know, just a specific game. You know, here's what I think about Final Fantasy VII. Here's me talking about Final Fantasy VII in an unscripted format. Or it could be about a topic, you know, here's me talking about my favorite games and what makes those so good. Or, you know, maybe I'll talk about a movie or something, I don't know. If you got any suggestions for that kind of stuff, leave a comment, ping me in Discord, I don't care, dude. Just let me know. Alright, well, thanks for watching, I guess. Hope you found this interesting. See you next time? How do I stop this?